From the release of his first self-titled album in 1983 to his most recent album, 2014's Mandatory Fun, Weird Al Yankovic has famously recorded countless parodies. But there's one thing that sets him apart from a lot of other parody artists. He asks for permission. This is notable because in some specific examples, he could have recorded his music without permission. Now, the idea that he could have recorded his entire discography without permission, that's something of a misnomer. That is absolutely 100% not true. But Al has this policy for more than just licensing issues. In 1980, Al recorded a demo for a new song titled It's Still Billy Joel to Me. This took aim at Billy Joel's sporadic reinvention of his look, style, and music.
What's the matter with the tune he's writing? Well, you know it's gonna be a smash. It's so nice when you're a big name artist. Doesn't matter if it sounds like trash. Now everybody thinks the new wave is super and fast when there wants that or even Alice Cooper. It's a big hit, isn't it? Even if it's a piece of junk, it's still Billy Joel to me.
Allegedly, Billy Joel was shown the song at some point and was kind of bummed about it. And after this, Yankovic decided that he always wanted the original artists to be in on the joke. But because of this, there are enough rejected Weird Al Yankovic songs to make a whole album. Here are some examples. One of the most notorious Weird Al fans in the 1980s was a man named Paul McCartney. He's the guy from Wings.
I hear you used to be quite popular with the females.
Not just humans either.
Let's change the subject.
When Al and Paul first met in the mid-1980s, allegedly, Paul's first statement was, "When are you gonna parody one of my songs?" And several years later, in 1992, Al actually came up with a pretty good idea. He wanted to do a version of Live and Let Die that would be called Chicken Pot Pie.
But if there's one thing in this world that I like better than a corned beef on rye, it's chicken pot pie.
Paul rejected this idea because he was a staunch vegetarian. In fact, he suggested that instead maybe Al could record a song called Tofu Pot Pie.
If you play Maybe I'm Amazed backwards, you'll hear a recipe for a really ripping lentil soup.
But Al explained that the main joke to him was being able to do the main famous riff like... For a time, Yankovic was universally known as the guy who had recorded 2 parodies of Michael Jackson songs, but those 2 songs were almost part of a trilogy. In 1992, Yankovic asked Jackson if he could record a spoof of Black or White titled Snack All Night.
A pile of chicken bones is under my bed. A million Twinkie wrappers all around my head. Jelly donuts to the left of me. Got a bag of chocolate chips on the right. Hey! Right, yeah. If you don't mind the calories, it don't matter if you snack all night.
Jackson ultimately decided to reject this song in spite of his acceptance of the first 2 because he felt the topic was too serious to be riffed on like this.
I like fire.
Yeah, fire kicks bad. I like when they burn stuff.
Sometimes these song parodies were rejected not by the original artist, but by some other outside force. In 1993, Numb by U2 came out, and the song sounded like this.
Don't move, don't talk, out of time, don't think, don't worry, everything's just fine. Just fine.
As soon as Al heard that, he immediately knew that he wanted to turn that into this.
I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam. I am.
Predictably, he was rejected by the Dr. Seuss estate. Additionally, 2 parodies were completely fully recorded before being rejected. Pac-Man, a parody of Taxman by the Beatles,
I love to gobble up those dots. Keep pumping.
and You're Pitiful, a parody of You're Beautiful by James Blunt.
My life is brilliant.
What, was I too early? Do you want to start over or keep going? Now?
My life is brilliant. Your life's a joke.
Notably, in this case, James Blunt actually approved the song, but then his record label retracted that permission at the last second. But this caused a gap in his album, which led him to write White and Nerdy, which is potentially his most popular song. Similarly, Michael Jackson rejecting Snack All Night was one of the things that led him to write Smells Like Nirvana, which totally reinvigorated his career. So there is a silver lining to a lot of these things. But no artist turned Yankovic down more often than Prince, or perhaps the artist formerly known as Prince, or perhaps the artist formerly known as the artist formerly known as Prince. That person rejected 5 different offers by Weird Al to do takes on his music.
Guess you'll never grow a clue. Well, it just sucks to be you.
And of course, we should mention that allegedly, Coolio rejected the idea of Weird Al doing Amish Paradise, but then the record label turned around and accepted on his behalf, leading Weird Al to think that it had been accepted. But to this day, that's still kind of contested, and in the end, the two did end up making up and becoming good friends.